Court will please come to order. There's a quorum present, all the members are present. The legal notices have been duly posted and the court is duly called. Is there a motion to open? Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
And our invocation today will be given by guest Commissioner Garcia.
Thank you, Judge, colleagues, members. Bailey,
Oh.
please.
Yeah, we are available. Please open court.
All rise. Dallas County Commissioners Court is now in session for the October 2013 term. The Honorable Judge Jenkins presiding. Please remain standing for the invocation.
And I'm going to call forward Father Arturo Molina. Father Arturo Molina is the son of Osvaldo and Luz Molina, born 4 out of 13 children. He is a native Dallasite and a resident of Oak Cliff. He completed his theology in Central America in Costa Rica. Father Molina was ordained in 1983. He lived in Kentucky for 20 years and just retired from the Federal Bureau of Prisons as the Catholic priest in the prison ministry. Father Molina is currently serving as pastor of Our Lady of San Juan, Santa Teresita Catholic Church in West Dallas, his home and parish in West Dallas as well. Thank you, Father, for being here this morning.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Almighty God, you sit on the throne of judging the rights of all people. We humbly pray that you bless the county justice, our county officials, clerks, leaders, and give them the spirit of wisdom and understanding the law to its fullness and to its truth. Administrate to them the true law, the law that fears you, and alone through him who shall come to be our judge, your Son, our Savior, Jesus Christ. Espíritu de Jesús, desciende sobre nosotros, tus hijos, en esta mañana que nos brindes. Te pido muy en especial que des la sabiduría a todos nuestros líderes de esta ciudad, en las decisiones que hacen para todo el bien de los ciudadanos y para el bien de todos aquellos que pasan por los arcos de este edificio, para que les des el entendimiento, la sabiduría para tomar buenas responsabilidades y tomar decisiones para el bien de todos los ciudadanos de Dallas. Por Cristo nuestro Señor. Amén.
Now consider item C, the consent agenda. They're going to pop up motion and second. And that was moved by Commissioner Garcia and seconded by Mr. Price. You might stand there and put it on. Bring it to floor. So, who made the motion?
I did. Second.
Very good.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Please signify by saying aye. And Council voting on that. And motion carries unanimously. And we'll go ahead and just finish it, put the next one out. We'll go fast. We'll now consider item H on the consent agenda. Is there a motion on that item? So moved.
Second.
The motion was by Commissioner Cantrell, and the second was by Commissioner Daniel. Since it's been done. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Voting. Any opposed? So if the screen that says make motion, just get ready and go to the next one. See how it. So we're about to do court.
I showed that as consent agenda instead of the bids.
So, we'll now consider our first set of court orders. So go ahead and put the make motion up on the screen. Court orders 11 through 19. You can go ahead and put that up on the screen.
So,
And that's a motion by Dr. Daniel
second.
and a second by Commissioner Garcia. And
18, correct.
please vote by electronically and vote verbally. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. We'll now consider order J1, J2, and J3. We'll move in those orders. And there's a motion by Dr. Daniel and a second by Commissioner Price. Please vote both electronically and verbally. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Nays? No nays. The motion carries unanimously. Our agenda now calls for our briefing session, which consists of items to be considered for a subsequent session. Mr. Martin, please take it through.
Morning, Judge Commissioner. First item is a presentation on the Dallas Urban Land Bank Administration Program. Terry Williams from the City of Dallas is here for that presentation.
Judge, Commissioner, if you will allow me to introduce this, the Urban Land Bank, forming under the Dallas Housing Acquisition Coalition. The special legislation wherein the collaboration of entities, being the school district, the city, the county, all engaged in taking certain properties within our jurisdiction and basically commission them for both what we call an initiative to cure urban blight. Your representatives, Lois Brown, is a representative on that particular land bank, along with yours truly. And as such, Terry Williams is the person who basically drives these meetings. So we're very glad to have him here this morning. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you for inviting me. We probably should have done this sometime before because the county's been a big part of the land bank. We really appreciate their support and help, and especially Commissioner Price and Joyce Brown. I want to just kind of give a brief overview of the land bank and kind of give you an idea of where we've been and where we're going. The name of the program is the Dallas Urban Land Bank Demonstration Program. We'll just provide the historic information on the land bank and provide the status of the land bank. We call it the land bank. It's the formal name, as the Commissioner said, Dallas Housing Acquisition Development Corporation. The goal of the Dallas Urban Land Bank Demonstration Program is to develop a significant quantity of affordable single-family homes and family tax benefits within the Dallas neighborhoods. Putting these properties to productive use will address the shortage of affordable workforce housing balance, eliminate blight in target neighborhoods, stabilize at-risk communities and enhance quality of life, stimulate investment and economic growth, and increase local government property tax, sales taxes, and revenue. These are basically lots that have been just sitting out there for years and years, collecting taxes and having the city maintain them, so it really helps get them back on the tax rolls. The state statute came together in 2003 to authorize certain cities to form land banks, and Dallas chose to be one of those cities. There were several other cities that have attempted to do so. They've been not able to be as successful as ours because of the contributions of the school districts and the county and the city all working together, made our land bank very successful. In 2004, we negotiated and executed interlocal agreements with all the taxing entities. The land bank acquired the first properties in 2005. 2006, sold the first lots to developers. 2007, the first home was completed and sold to an eligible family. This slide shows all participants that are helpful in the land bank, all the taxing entities, the real estate council, developers, community land bank board, and city council. Two of our main participants are Linebarger Sampson, Linebarger Godwin Blair and Sampson, the tax law firm for the county, and Republic Title also does their title work. Demetra Sampson, the partner with Linebarger's in the court today, really want to send a great thank you for all her support, all her pro bono work that her law firm does. Without that law firm, we couldn't be near the land bank that we are today. The Land Bank Board of Directors approves all the actions subject to the City of Dallas Council approval. It's comprised of 8 members: Dallas Housing Director, Dallas Development Services Director, Dallas Code Compliance Director, 2 Dallas County representatives, as Commissioner Price has mentioned, 1 ISD representative, 1 truck representative, and 1 nonprofit affordable housing organization representative. As the Commissioner is probably aware, Commissioner Price plays a big part in your role, and he also plays a major part in the board. He helps us keep all our Robert's Rules of Order straight. The functions of the land bank, we permits the direct sale of qualified taxable foreclosed properties to an initially created land bank, authorize the land bank to assemble taxable foreclosed properties and sell those properties at below market prices to nonprofit and for-profit affordable housing developers, and provides the Community Housing Development Organization, our city CHODOs, with a limited right of first refusal to purchase the properties. There are 6 basic steps to the process. The land bank assembles a list of potential vacant lots and forwards them to Linebarger and Republic Title. They both perform most of the work on a pro bono basis. The title company abstracts the title and forwards the opinion to Linebarger and to the city attorney's office. After approval by the city attorney's office, the lawsuit is prepared and filed with the county court. County court adjudicates the lawsuit, and the sheriff conducts the private sales of the land bank. Land bank assembles the properties to be sold to developers, solicits requests for proposals, obtains land bank board approval, holds community meetings if necessary, obtains city council approval, and conveys the lawsuit to the developers. The eligible properties must have at least 5 years of delinquent taxes, have an appraisal district value less than the amount of taxes and non-tax liens in zone residential. These things eliminate some of the properties from being able to come over to the land bank, but it does allow us to get most of the vacant lots that are out there in the neighborhoods we're looking for. Have a minimum frontage of 40 feet and a maximum size of minimum size of 4,000 square feet. We focus on our neighborhood investment program areas. These are the city areas that we focus city resources to really make a difference. Lots 1 mile on each side of guardrail and selected lots for CHODOs. The map that's put up now shows in the green areas our neighborhood investment program areas, our target neighborhoods. We've tried to find the lots in those areas. We've had to expand a little bit outside those areas, and it's become a little bit more difficult to find lots that meet our criteria. We've made quite a selection in those areas. Our production as of September 30 shows 1,633 lawsuits filed, 933 properties sold to the land bank, including 112 part of the NSP funds, 462 lots sold to CHODO and developers with 7 lots pending sale, 256 homes completed and sold. Our goal is to add to the pipeline each year up to 150 additional lawsuits after the sheriff's sale. Looking at the numbers, this may not seem like a lot in 10 years, but it takes a long time to get this process through, and it's taken a number of years to get it started. And we've been a very successful land bank compared to the state of Texas other opportunities. There's other land banks throughout the nation. We are one of the top ones, and we're very proud of it. Our challenges are maintaining our lot inventory, keeping them mowed, and keeping them taken care of, finding enough qualified home buyers with current and projected market conditions, ensuring there's sufficient developer capacity. That concludes my briefing. Are there any questions?
Yes. First of all, thank you so much for coming and briefing us. We appreciate your work. I know that I was in the housing committee with Dallas City Council when the land bank first was proposed, and obviously as a former representative of District 1, West Dallas and North of Cliff had to be there. And as a former resident of Lake Cliff, I knew the potential was there, east of Marsalis. So if you say that there's been 462 lots sold, but only 207, but only we have still 206 lots, right?
Correct.
And 256 homes have been completed and sold.
Correct.
What happened to the other 206?
They're still in process. The way that the program works, there's 4 years that the land bank can hold, should we sell them to developers. We have up to 4 years. Then the developers have up to 3 years to complete it. So it takes a little bit longer for some of our chodos to get their funding and get off the ground. We're working now to try to sell more to for-profit developers. We have a bigger capacity. They build some spec homes, and we hope to see it take off. We just sold 50 to a for-profit developer just recently, so we're really anxious to see how that goes.
And Commissioner, the land bank, unfortunately, is not immune to the economy. In fact, our challenges are probably a little greater. And one of the things we did task city staff with was because staff did, as you know, provide some bond funding to talk about this whole engagement. As such, we've had the leverage so that the land bank, the Dallas Housing Acquisition Corporation, could in fact stand on its own. So it's really challenged us, it's challenged our partners to be able to manage in a way and still have the same economic challenges that the marketplace provides. Because as I said, we got a special demographic, if you will, special areas, and we know all of that. But that's been our real challenge. As he said, the fact Chodo gets the community housing development organizations get first flush. However, it's been an imperative that been first blush because that's state law. But the for-profit is going to hopefully be our salvation.
It was something that had been discussed for a long time, but exactly for what you say, that the Chodos have the first right, have always been the part that we weren't totally sure how we can move. So that's going to be moved forward.
Yes, it is. And it's a continuing challenge with our chodos. As our federal funding gets decreased every year, and we lose more and more chodos, we don't have as many. And so
how many do we have now?
I think we have about 12.
Okay.
And probably only about half a dozen of them are really doing it.
Okay. So the number of chodos has not decreased, or it has.
We used to have up in the 20s, so it's decreased, and so we're down. Some of them are just really small, and we have the other ones. They do most of the work, but it's just not much of capacity. As a matter of fact, half that decided not to be a chosen this year.
Well, it's good to see that this continues to move forward. I know that just to keep up with a lot of these problems, I have houses that were abandoned, on test, there was no will involved, kids didn't want it, and they stayed as live in the neighborhood for years. And it was pretty much the ones in the Leaf area that we were able to solve the fastest.
Right, and keep in mind, Commissioner, that we can only take vacant lots, so we have to wait for those houses to torn down.
Well, yeah, but I mean, with the city attorney's office and you guys, those areas were always, believe it or not, faster than the rest of the neighborhood. So thank you again, thank you for all the work. And I know Mr. Higgins was already retired.
Yes, he did.
But, my best to everyone in the housing department. And thank you to Mr. Price and Ms. Brown for continuing to do this work. I appreciate it.
Just had one quick question. You have the land bank criteria on page 9, and on page 10, it says selected lots for the chodos. Are the eligibility criteria different for the two sets of?
The first page 9 is state statute.
Okay.
Those are the requirements of those. The other one is just how we try to locate the lots within the city. We came up with our own plan to try to focus in our different neighborhoods. We thought we make the most of the lots are south of Interstate 30. That's where the biggest need is. That's the biggest concentration of lots, and that's what we look for.
Definitely is a need for the variety of housing opportunities in Dallas County, and so along with it. other members of this court applaud the efforts to do what we can. But just had questions on, how are the criteria matching up and,
Commissioner, let me just say it's been a real challenge because, first of all, the city of Dallas requires a submission from this department of what we call an annual housing plan. And that must pass the city of Dallas. Some of us have tried to make sure that we drum major what we consider to be a little different approach, again, on housing stock. I know people don't like the word, quote, modular, because it gins up that somehow it's mobile home. That's not the case, and I think Mr. Williams will tell you, as a person who has basically tried to lead that advocacy, we've had product from around the country in very well-established neighborhoods, and so we've gone through trying to make some amendments to that particular housing plan, whereby there was some acceptability on behalf of the council to be able to, what I consider to be model this program a lot better. And so it's some real challenges, and I applaud staff because they're kind of caught between the corporation, the Dallas Housing Acquisition Corporation, and the city with regards to how they try to forward this matter. We talk about those lawsuits. I think the city of Dallas is something close to maybe Dallas County, I thought the city got about 20,000 properties. I mean, the inventory is huge. I think after about 4,000 that they have basically designed that they're going to target, then they begin to kind of call for that. West Dallas has been a big beneficiary and has been the prime property with regards to this program. But in and around the Seacrest area, in and around the Lancaster area, as you said, with regards to transportation arteries, has kind of been the target area. So I really want to applaud our partners, but I think Mr. Williams said it best. The others in the state have tried to emulate what's been going on in Dallas. They have not had that success, and I think one of the reasons is because of our partners. So I join him with the Linebarger, Calvin Sampson firm, Shred, our partners, and in making sure that these initiatives come to pass. And so now we're beginning to see we're now in the MLS service for the first time. We're now having to manage the number of, quote, takes with regards to these for-profit developers who are coming in now wanting to take as many as maybe 25, 50 properties. Now, while we recognize what that does for us, because in our appropriation in our budget, we've got to maintain those properties. The city and co-compliance, Mr. Martin, part of the committee, we have to maintain those properties. So we don't get a pass on the fact that they're not mowed. We have to mow them, we have to maintain them. So anytime we get a developer to come in and take those properties, they now have to at least do that maintenance and operation until such time that they develop those lots. And in some of the communities, infrastructure is still a challenge. When you start talking about developing lots in older neighborhoods, and say what you will.
Infrastructure is as old as 150 years old.
Exactly. So you got water lines that don't meet the requirement under fire protection, and so they got to take and fuse all that into the lot, and the cost of development is a lot more expensive. So it's some real challenges, and again, I want to applaud staff and all of our partners for this kind of initiative. It seems to be taken.
And the city did put funds in the last one package
Yes.
for some of the development of these new areas, right?
Yes, that's correct.
The other thing I think that was very good, something that we debated for a long time, was how many and which areas. And I think that one of the things that they've been successful is because we really put them in those areas, Commissioner, that have the most properties with, some blight issues, for calling it some way. Now, one of the things that now I believe we're seeing is the areas with transportation, access to transportation, is usually go and develop faster than the ones that without. So I understand that there's also money for the mixed-use development in Lancaster Keys. So these probably should help the new areas out.
Yes, and these have really been a catalyst in a lot of these areas. We try to focus around the transit-oriented areas, and as these houses come in and more of the development comes in, and you're right, Commissioner, that the funding has been there for mixed-use development. We've got quite a bit going on in the Lancaster area right now, so we're really making progress.
I believe that's going to be one of the catalysts, with the transportation-oriented development should have some funding there too.
Yes.
Because I remember we reviewed some of those development plans, and I don't know where they are now, to be honest with you, but I think that put all together with the funding that the city has been putting at the housing department, it should be a win-win. And in my opinion, I always say that Lancaster Keys is the next connector, to the development in the southern sector.
Wish I had as much optimism, but it's still.
We never have optimism.
Yeah, it's called reality. But anyway, the challenges, even when we see an opportunity to do, mixed use, we had to go and get special legislation. And so, again, we continue to run into those barriers and those challenges in order to redevelop, these neighborhoods. I mean, this is just really just historical benign neglect, not only on the part of residents as they relocated out of the area, but primarily because those areas have not been the quote desired areas, and therefore need a lot of infrastructure to work.
And I get you. I get that part. I think that is important. But nevertheless, starting in 2003, the first house was sold in 2007, 2008. Here we are in 2013. So it's moving. It's moving along, and I feel very optimistic because of the successes that we have in the other ones. I think the ones in Fair Park and the Lancaster Keys are next. And like I say, it's a big team effort, and I know a lot of partners are here. But hey, we're moving forward, and I really believe that. Look for what we're just 10 years ago in downtown. Sometimes it just blows my mind. What's going on in West Dallas? What's going on close to the town? What's going on in the medical district? What's going on, all around, the Fair Park area. So optimism and reality are coming up. Thank you so much.
And I'd like to say thank you to all the partners, and because it is a successful program in my opinion. And particularly I'd like to thank our colleague, Commissioner Price, for pushing and doing just a fantastic job from the county's perspective on the community. So thank you for, I know how much time you spend on this, so I appreciate all the time that you put in. Thank you.
We won't let him off the board.
Absolutely. I understand.
Thank you, Terry. Terry, to continue, thank you for all the energy that you and your staff put into this effort in the city of Dallas.
Next item, auditor, item number 2, recommend filing annual assessment due to the first administrative judicial review in compliance with Texas Government Code. Item 3, formally accepting the Chapter 59 report of the district attorney's forfeiture order file.
Let me ask a question up there, because I didn't see the actual report that showed the expenditures and that in my reading.
It got missed on the first load, so it is now being reloaded and information is there.
On the
Okay. If you can just resend it to me.
We'll be citizens, the yearly balance did increase about $200,000.
Okay.
They had forfeitures through the VA themselves and forfeitures in other entities. All of that is specifically listed.
Thank you very much.
Budget item 4, conference travel training request. 5, Court Administration Jail Consulting Contract, includes professional service agreement with Griffith Mosley Johnson Associates to perform consulting services related to the Dallas County Jail.
I just have a question.
Yes.
The jail contract is the same at the $200,000, the $200 an hour with the $10,000 limit. How? I mean, I thought that we were getting out of that, Commissioner. Is that for how long are we?
Well, we tasked them with everything.
Yeah.
And I would love, and I should have done this for the court, I will do a side-by-side of what we pay them and what I think we have benefited as a result of that. Now, we found other engagements, and they're being tasked with everything now from, a video visitation to overtime fees.
Jail pop.
And the rest of it.
Jail pop.
Yeah,
Population.
and the jail population, because, that's our bottom line, the jail population. Yes, and so that's it. The $59,
62 this year.
62.
62 per day.
$60 a day.
Is there a requirement to state that there be some outside assistance in looking
No,
at something?
no. You're left to your own,
Devices?
And this thing has been a routine.
It has.
All the criteria, and of course, thanks to the sheriff as well and her team. But okay, I just wanted to see, the need. I mean, I read in the briefing that the population has increased, and it's the same contract. But I just was wondering how this relates to.
well, population level was not a part of the compliance. See, compliance is already, but we now we tasked them, with population and what's going on. Because one of the things that while we were providing, and I will do this in the judicial management report once all the numbers are in, while we were providing all of these tools for the judges to have at their disposal, there are some that are utilizing and there are some who are not utilizing. And it just, you've got to be able to know exactly in your population who is in fact managing their dockets. And unfortunately, we have the same individuals who continue to perform, and we got the same individuals who don't seem to be performing. And I think that needs to be very evidenced. There's no difference in you look at the modeling of the cases. I think the district attorney's office, I know Mr. Monroe has gone through and looked at what we call the top 100 cases. And in those cases, where we're seeing where individuals have been there for over a year, waiting on what? So anyway, they're having us with all of that.
Okay. I would appreciate a comparison.
Yes, and they also produce an annual report, and I'll get that report to all commissioners.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. I appreciate it. Thank you, Commissioner.
Next item, Fire Marshal, item 6, approve the agreement with the University of Texas Southwestern Medical Center for medical director services for the Dallas County Fire and Rescue. Number 7, approve interlocal agreement with the City of Wilmington to provide fire inspection services from the Dallas County Fire Marshal's Office. Number 8, approve the ambulance interlocal agreement with the City of Wilmington with the Fire Marshal's Office.
And let me just take this opportunity, Marshal De Los Santos is here. I just want to, first of all, thank him. First of all, for the management and finally the finale with regards to the City of Wilmer ambulance agreement. I have met with Dr. Norris since then. Parker and CSCD have come to an agreement with regards to clients, hopefully that are intake ready to go to the Crusoe Center. That is a lot of what is first, but because that's state law, but the for-profit is going to hopefully be our salvation.
It was something that had been discussed for a long time, but exactly what you say, that the children have the first right, have always been the part that we weren't totally sure how we can move. So that's going to be moved forward.
Yes, it is. It is a continuing challenge with our cholos. As our federal funding gets decreased every year, and we lose more and more cholos, we don't have as many. And so
How many do we have now?
I think we
remember
have
like
about
6
12.
Okay.
And probably only about half a dozen are really doing it.
Okay. So the number of cholos has not decreased, or it has.
We used to have up in the 20s, so it's decreased. And so we're down. Some of them are just really small, and we have the other one. They do most of the work, but it's just not much of capacity. As a matter of fact, half that decided not to be a cholo this year.
Well, it's good to see that this continues to move forward. I know that just to keep up with a lot of these problems, I have houses that were, abandoned, there was no will involved, kids didn't want it, and they stayed as blight in the neighborhood for years. And it was pretty much the ones in the need area that we were able to solve the fastest.
Right, and keep in mind, Commissioner, that we can only take vacant lots, so we have to wait for those houses to be torn down.
Well, yeah, but I mean, with the city attorney's office and you guys, those areas were always, believe it or not, faster than the rest of the neighborhood. So thank you again, thank you for all the work. And I know Mr. Hillingsworth already retired.
Yes, he did.
But, my best to everyone in the housing department. And thank you for Mr. Rice and Ms. Brown for continuing to do this work. I appreciate it.
Just had one quick question. You have the land bank criteria on page 9, and on page 10, it says selected lots for the cholos. Are the eligibility criteria different for the two sets of?
The first page 9 is state statute.
Okay.
Those are the requirements of those. The other one is just how we try to locate the lots within the city. We came up with our own plan to try to focus in our different neighborhoods. We thought most of the lots are south of Interstate 30. That's where the biggest need is. That's the biggest concentration of lots, and that's what we look for.
Definitely is a need for the variety of housing opportunities in Dallas County. And so along with the other members of this board, applaud the efforts to do what we can. But just had questions on how are the criteria matching up and.
Commissioner, let me just say it's been a real challenge because, first of all, the city of Dallas requires a submission from this department of what we call an annual housing plan, and that must pass the city of Dallas. Some of us have tried to make sure that we run major what we consider to be a little different approach. Again, on housing stock, I know people don't like the word, quote, modular, because it gins up that somehow it's mobile home. That's not the case, and I think Mr. Williams will tell you, as a person who has basically tried to lead that advocacy, we've had product from around the country, in very well-established neighborhoods, and so we've gone through trying to make some amendments to that particular housing plan, whereby there was some acceptability on behalf of the council to be able to, what I consider to be model this program a lot better. And so it's some real challenges, and I applaud staff because they're kind of caught between the corporation, the Dallas Housing Acquisition Corporation, and the city with regards to how they try to forward this matter. We talk about those lawsuits. I think the city of Dallas is something close to maybe Dallas County. I thought the city got about 20,000 properties. I mean, the inventory is huge. I think after about 4,000 that they have basically designed that they're going to target, then they begin to kind of call for that. West Dallas has been a big beneficiary and has been the prime property with regards to this program. But in and around the Seacrest area, in and around the Lancaster area, as he said, with regards to transportation orders, has kind of been the target area. So I really want to applaud our partners. But I think Mr. Williams said it best. The others in the state have tried to emulate what's been going on in Dallas. They have not had that success, and I think one of the reasons is because of our partners. So I join him with the Linebarger, Dr. Sampson firm, Shred, our partners, and in making sure that these initiatives come to pass. And so now we're beginning to see we're now in the MLS service for the first time. We're now having to manage the number of, quote, takes with regards to these for-profit developers who are coming in now wanting to take as many as maybe 25, 50 properties. Now, while we recognize what that does for us, because in our appropriation in our budget, we've got to maintain those properties. The city and co-compliance, Mr. Martin, part of the committee, we have to maintain those properties. So we don't get a pass on the fact that they're not mowed. We have to mow them, we have to maintain them. So anytime we get a developer to come in and take those properties, they now have to at least do that maintenance and operation until such time that they develop those lots. And in some of the communities, infrastructure is still a challenge. When you start talking about developing lots in older neighborhoods, say what you will.
Construction is as old as 150 years old.
Exactly. So you got water lines that don't meet the requirement under fire protection, and so they got to take and fuse all that into the lot, and the cost of development is a lot more expensive. So it's a real challenge, and again, I want to applaud staff and all of our partners for this kind of initiative. It seems to be taken.
And the city did put funds in the last one package for some of the development of these new areas, right?
Yes, that's correct.
The other thing I think that was very good, something that we debated for a long time, was how many and which areas. And I think that one of the things that they've been successful is because we really put them in those areas, Commissioner, that have the most properties with, some blight issues for community some way. Now, one of the things that now I believe we're seeing is the areas with transportation, access to transportation, is usually go and develop faster than the ones that without. So I understand that there's also money for the mixed-use development in Lancaster Keys. So these probably should help the new areas out.
Yes, and these have really been a catalyst in a lot of these areas. We try to focus around the transit-oriented areas, and as these houses come in and more of the development comes in, and you're right, Commissioner, that the funding has been there for mixed-use development. We've got quite a bit going on in the Lancaster area right now, so we're really making progress.
I believe that's going to be one of the catalysts, with the transportation-oriented development should have funding there too.
Yes.
Because I remember we reviewed some of those, development plans, and I don't know where they are now, to be honest with you, but I think that put all together with the funding that the city has been putting on the housing department, it should be a win-win. And in my opinion, I always say that Lancaster Keys is the next connector, to the development in the southern sector.
Wish I had as much optimism, but it's still.
We never have optimism.
Yeah, it's called reality. Anyway, the challenges, even when we see an opportunity to do, mixed use, we had to go and get special legislation. And so, again, we continue to run into those barriers and those challenges in order to redevelop, these neighborhoods. I mean, this is just really just historical benign neglect, not only on the part of residents as they relocated out of the area, but primarily because those areas have not been the quote desired areas, and therefore need a lot of infrastructure to work.
No, and I get you. I get that part. I think that is important. But nevertheless, starting in 2003, the first house was sold in 2007, 2008. Here we are in 2013. So it's moving. It's moving along, and I feel very optimistic because of the successes that we have in the other ones. I think the ones in Fair Park and the Manchester Keys are next. And like I say, it's a big team effort, and I know a lot of partners are here. But hey, we're moving forward, and I really believe that. Look for what we think just 10 years ago in downtown. Sometimes it just blows my mind. What's going on in West Dallas, what's going on close to Montana, what's going on in the Medical District, what's going on, all around, the Fair Park area. So optimism and reality are coming up. Thank you so much.
And I'd like to say thank you to all the partners, and because it is a successful program in my opinion. And particularly I'd like to thank our colleague, Commissioner Price, for pushing and doing just a fantastic job from the county's perspective on the community. So thank you for, I know how much time you spend on this, so I appreciate all the time that you put in. Thank you.
We won't let him off the board.
Absolutely. I understand.
Thank you, Terry. Terry, continue. Thank you for all the energy that you and your staff put into this effort in the city of Dallas.
Next item, auditor, item number 2, recommend final annual assessment due to the first administrative judicial review in compliance with Texas Government Code. Item 3, formally accepting the Chapter 59 report of the district attorney's forfeiture order file.
Let me ask a question up there, because I didn't see the actual report that showed the expenditures and that in my reading.
It got missed on the first load, so it is now being reloaded and the information is there.
Okay. If you can just resend it to me.
You'll be seeing some cities where the hearing balance did increase about $200,000.
Okay.
They had forfeitures through the VA in Dallas and forfeitures in other entities. All of that is specifically listed.
Thank you very much.
Budget item 4, conference travel training request. 5, court administration jail consulting contract include professional service agreement with Griffith Mosley Johnson Associates to perform consulting services related to the Dallas County Jail.
I just have a question. The jail contract is the same at the $200 an hour with the $10,000 limit. I thought that we were getting out of that, Commissioner. Is that for how long are we?
Well, we tasked him with some other. And I would love, and I should have done this for the court. I will do a side by side on what we pay them and what I think we have benefited as a result of that. Now we found other engagements. And they're being tasked with everything now from a video visitation to overtime duties,
Jail pop.
and the rest of it.
Jail pop.
Population. And the jail population, because that's our problem now, the jail population. Yes, and so that's it. $59
$62 this year.
62.
62 per day.
$62 a day.
Is there a requirement in the state that there be some outside assistance in the
No. You're left to your own.
devices?
And this team has been a good team.
It has.
All the criteria, and of course thanks to the sheriff as well and her team. But okay, I just wanted to see, the need. I read in the briefing that the population has increased and it's the same contract, but I just was wondering how this relates to.
Well, population never was not a part of compliance. See, compliance is over, but we now we task them, with population and what's going on. Because one of the things that while we were providing, and I will do this in the judicial management report once all the numbers are in, while we were providing all of these tools for the judges to have at their disposal, there are some that are utilizing and there are some who are not utilizing. And it just, you've got to be able to know exactly in your population who is in fact managing their dockets. And unfortunately, we have the same individuals who continue to perform, and we got the same individuals who don't seem to be performing. And I think that needs to be very evidenced. There's no difference in you look at the modeling of the cases. I think the district attorney's office, I know Mr. Monroe has gone through and looked at what we call the top 100 cases. And in those cases, where we're seeing where individuals have been there for over a year, waiting on what? So anyway, they're having us with all of that.
Okay. I will appreciate a comparison.
Yes, and they also produce an annual report, and I'll get that report to all commissioners.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. I appreciate it. Thank you for listening.
Next item, Fire Marshal, item 6, approve the agreement with the University of Texas Southwestern Medical Center for medical director services for the Dallas County Fire and Rescue. Number 7, approve the interlocal agreement with the City of Wilmington to provide fire inspection services from the Dallas County Fire Marshal's Office. Number 8, approve the document, approve the ambulance interlocal agreement with the City of Wilmington with the Fire Marshal's Office.
And let me just take this opportunity. Marshal De Los Santos is here. I just want to, first of all, thank him. First of all, for the management and finally the finale with regards to the City of Wilmer ambulance agreement. I have met with Dr. Noyes since then, Parker and CSCD have come to an agreement with regards to clients, hopefully that are intake ready to go to the Cruzo Center. That is a lot of what is in regards to that contract. And so I want to thank the City of Wilmington because they did in fact work with Marshal De Los Santos, and it was significant saving to Dallas County. So I want to thank him for that. That whole interlocal agreement tends to benefit Dallas County as well as Wilmington, and so I just want to thank you, Marshal, for all of that, especially for that contract. It's a lot different than what we're paying and what we were invoiced to the tune of about $200,000.
It's
$256,000. Used to go. Well, it's $300,000. So it was significant. Thank you. Those calls will be lodged at about between 2 o'clock in the morning and primarily 4 o'clock. And the clients that probably shouldn't be, but I think the Dr. Nolan and his group, they worked that out. Thank you, Marshall.
Health and Human Services, item 9, approve fiscal year 2014 utility allowance schedule presented in your briefing and utilized by the Dallas County Health and Human Services Section 8 Housing Choice Voucher Program. Item 10, approve fiscal year 2014 fair market rents by zip code to be administered by the Dallas County Health and Human Services Housing Choice Voucher Program.
Mr. Thompson, I haven't worked with people lately, but I guess on just the overall market rents based on zip code and what they allow in terms of vouchers. Are you getting any feedback with regards to that impact?
Well, I guess you know, in the beginning, I was against the fair market rent, but this is what HUD dictated, that we're in an area. We haven't got any pushback other than it gives a uniform pricing across zip codes, but it's a HUD mandate and we have to follow it, but I'm not getting the cost from landlords as we did in the initial process when we moved toward the fair market rent.
Well, the landlords aren't having the issue. It is the voucher because they may be authorized at one level, and depending on what their voucher is, they go in, and it's entirely up to the landlord whether or not he or she accepts in order to be out the voucher.
why I was against it from the beginning. I agree,
It's
but
a lot of,
yeah.
you know, we talk about, discrimination, but then landlord may say, well, you know, even though it's only a $50 difference, I don't want to be bothered. You can't pay $50 out of your pocket a month. I don't want to be bothered. And he or she has that kind of discretion. And I've been working with some constituents that seems to become a lot more familiar with this thing. But, you know, while we call it equity and leveling, it provides some real challenges.
But nevertheless, you know, it's a very important part in the rental housing of the Dallas County. So, and this starts with the utility system November 8th, right? That's what we're
That's part of it. That's correct.
Thank you. Are you going to send us some information as, you know, the requirements? Sometimes we get some of those calls.
Well, this one, the only requirement of this one falls under Section 8. So this one is
Exclusively
different.
Section 8.
Right, this is exclusively Section 8. The other one is when we have a comprehensive energy assistance program. The only way you're eligible for the utility assistance that we're briefing today is that's a part of your Section 8 house.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Thompson.
This fair market value rent process, this particular version is a fairly recent change, isn't it?
Oh, very
Because
well.
it
I
had
think,
been
yeah, I think in the
much
last
larger.
3-4 years is when they moved toward the firm.
By zip code. The Dallas area is the pilot project in the country on this. So it'll be interesting to see how the landlords, how the users, how the municipalities and counties, how it shakes out.
Yeah, they say we're the pilot, but nobody else has got in. So
Yeah.
We'll get into that.
Something like North Star.
Yeah.
right.
Did we go?
Item 11, approve the award of fiscal year 2013 TDA Cardiac Opening Grant Fund for the amount of $100,000 for this solution to conduct a comprehensive needs assessment. Item 12, approve the agreement between Dallas County Health and Human Services and the National Association of County and City Health Officials for the amount of $20,000 for activities associated with creating a unit policy and administration manual for the Medical Reserve Corps.
And Mr. Martin, just very quickly, I know that I sent an email to Mr. Thompson and Ms. Brown, the MWB on item 11, and you can send it to me later, Ms. Brown.
Yes, ma'am. I'll make sure to include it in our next week packet.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Information technology, item 13, approve the purchase and installation of fiscal year 2014 program improvement request outlined in your briefing. Item 14, approve the contract with Internet Personal Services to provide data center staffing. Public Works, item 15, approve work order 8 in the amount not to exceed $4,000 for independent fee appraisal services for 9 South Houston. Item 16, approve the renewal of the indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity contracts for consultant engineering services for 1 year.
And we're going to see, Ms. Blair, you know, how many of these indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity firms are getting work under
Yeah,
this.
and just to answer this, I did go through and realize that we do have a total of 15 MDG firms out of the 24, and all those 15 have had work underneath this. I just need to get the totals for you, but all 15 have had work underneath this current current IDIQ contract.
Thank you so much, Ms. Blair. I appreciate it.
Item 17, consent to the sale of properties located at 2000 on First Street, 111 East Buckingham, and 120 East Buckingham in Garland, Texas, in compliance with the Texas Property Tax Code, and authorize the City of Garland to act on behalf of all the taxing entities. Purchasing, item 18, livestock auction, recognize and authorize the sale of livestock in the attached list and be representative of all the items to be listed in the next auction. Item 19, recommends the award of re-award of items number 6, 7, 8, 15, 24, 25, 36, and 46 under the bid annual contract for the purchase of food service utensils and related supplies to Calico Industries. And Judge, that concludes your briefing agenda. We have 2 bring-ups for Mr. Brown.
Yes, Judge and Commissioners, I would like to request that the county auditor be able to prepare and the county treasurer be authorized to release an intergovernmental transfer amount in the amount of $1.102306.41. That would be $1.1 million to the state of Texas. This is our 1115 waiver funds. They will then kick back funds in the amount of about $2.6 million for us to continue to work our program. Second one is also a check, and this is for in the amount of $100,000 to Multi-Business Solutions. This is for postage for our jury summonses.
Can those be then attached to this agenda for future?
I think we voted
Yeah, this will allow the checks to actually move forward, and then you guys will actually do the vote next week on consent agenda.
And you will have, comment about things. Thank you.
Judge, if there are no other questions, Commissioner Lane, you feel free to speak.
Good job, everyone, today on the electronic agenda. We still getting the hang of it, but moved a lot smoother and faster today than the last week, and I think we'll just continue to improve on it.
And thank you, congratulations to the ladies on the end.
Yes.
That's who I'm talking to, and all y'all do it. Did a good job.
I still think we should say, move to school and they will push, but hey, I'll play.
We'll work on that. I think that's probably going to be difficult. We'll get that. All right, next we got our registered speakers available. Will you please read the rules of the court?
All commissioners, court attendees are hereby advised that this meeting is conducted in accordance with the provisions of the Dallas County Code, section 74, 71. Visitors and registered speakers are to preserve order and decorum at all times. Personal, profane, or slanderous remarks are not appropriate and will not be allowed at any time during this public meeting. Any and all applause will be kept brief in observance of time constraints. Disruptive visitors and or registered speakers may be removed and are subject to penalties provided by the State of Texas Penal Code, section 38.13, 42.01, 42.05. Registered individual speakers are limited to a maximum of 3 minutes, and the maximum discussion on any one topic is limited to 30 minutes.
All right. And our first speaker today is Mr. Paul G.
What I'm doing here is pass out from the Texans for term limits. I'm not an advocate for this group, nor a spokesman for this group, but this is just an informational piece that they put out that I think might be of interest to each one of you. And it does, and I am an advocate for the theme that is on these pass outs.
Sir, you haven't started. I'm sorry. Sir, you're doing fine, but my bad. But could you please state your name and your address and your bead? And
My name is Paul Nagin, N-A-G-A-D. I'm a lifelong Dallas County resident in Dallas City. My address is 13940 Peyton Drive. It's P-E-Y-T-O-N Drive, apartment 109, Dallas, 75240.
And Paul, you'll hear a beep, and when you hear the last beep, and if you stop, this beep. When you hear the beep at the end, just finish your thought. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. I've already mentioned the hand that I gave you. I'm not a spokesman for that group, but I am here to speak for term limits. Now, I recognize that this body doesn't control their own destiny because you were created by the Texas legislature, the Local Government Act, which created all the county governments throughout the state. But there are some things that there's something you can do. First of all, there are qualified people out there who are capable of running for this body, but they're dissuaded from doing so because of the long-term incumbency of some of your representatives. And it's a shame that they're dissuaded this way because they bring new ideas, new ways of looking at things, just fresh thoughts altogether. In my mind, incumbency, long-term incumbency, to me equates to complacency or entrenchment of thinking, and that shouldn't be needed. What I would ask this body to do, because I know that to change and go to limits for this body, which I think that they should do, entails an amendment to the Texas Code for Local Governments, which goes to the Texas Legislature. And I want to present that to the Texas Legislature when it convenes in January of 2015. What I would ask this august body to do is make a recommendation for term limits for this body. And recommend either the council as a whole or individual members to make recommendations to the legislature for term limits, because I think they're needed at all levels of government, not just the city council, which has in your term limit. But that's fine. And I recommend a term limit of 4 2-year terms, which is 8 years total. Then you pass your man on to someone else. Like happens at the city council that happened last term with my representative, which was Wendy Cooper. She would pass it on to Big Lyman. But I would ask that the same thing be done to this body, that all levels of government have term limits. And this pass out, it's the state of Texas, the people that responded overwhelmingly approved of term limits. And I think it's coming not only at this level, but the state level and the national level. So with that, I say thank you very much for your time. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you. And if you have any questions, I'm going to have to answer for you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Ms. Alice Hayden.
Hi, Commissioners. My name is Alice Hale, and I live, for the record, at 6804 Ravenwell Lane, Dallas, Texas, 05214. I'm actually here today because I have some concerns about the mental illness, I guess the design of the laws, regulations, illness warrants, and also application of mental illness treatment. I was victimized by my father, who applied for an application for mental illness for me with Judge Payton. And in addition to this application, Ms. Ashley Allison, I believe, worked at HCA. Might have also been another applicant for the process. My understanding is that once at least 2 people present to a judge, a hearing officer, the hearing officer needs to listen to the applicants who allege that a person is ill, has a mental illness, and then the judge can order a warrant of apprehension. So, if I have this all correctly, the judge listened to the 2 applicants and then, ordered ordered the apprehension to the Dallas Sheriff's Department, and during that process, I was not present to be in front of the judge to actually dispute any of the applicants' claims that I was supposedly mentally ill. That's part of the problem I feel with the mental health setup, is that once anybody can go to the magistrate or a hearing officer and actually presume or allege that a person has a mental illness, and then the judges can make a decision to order any sheriff officer or police officer, could be a police officer in fact, get the warrant, put the person in custody for a mental illness evaluation, and then if he decides after the mental illness evaluation that the person could be detained in either a treatment facility, inpatient, or at the liberty and discretion of the judge or anybody else, the patient could be sent to an outpatient treatment facility for help. Anyway, my problem is that prior to being...
This is the time for public speakers, and there's a 3-minute time limit.
if you're still involved in the legal process with a judge, very limited what we can do on constituent services. If you're through that process and want to speak to the people that oversee some of the process, you can speak to Mr. Ron Stretcher. But if you still have an active case number, and Ron will visit with you about that and determine whether he can speak with you, then you can continue visiting with him about that. But, look at your concerns and see that you might have insurance. But thank you for coming to speak with us today.
Would it make, I'm sorry to keep going, I just want to double check with you because before I was going through the process of being mentally ill, I had an episode where I was assaulted by my parents, and I'm more than the Dallas Police. So my understanding is when the judge swears the people in for the warrant, he should have gone through a process of swearing out all the information to be thorough and double check on, because I waived my probable cause hearing and the judge signed the form when I waived it, and he was supposed to have taken it.
Mr. Stretcher, he's the man on the corner waiting at you. And he is the coordinator of our Criminal Justice Advisory Board that oversees and advises all matters related to the court system, and can visit with you about those issues. And again, if there's an active case, an active either criminal or civil case, this body, this administrative and executive body, cannot intervene in that. And yet, general concerns about the system, Mr. Stretcher can help with that. And we thank you for coming to us. Our last speaker is Mr. William Hopkins.
My name is William Hopkins. We're at 20 Lee Street, West Dallas, 75212. What I'm handing out now is a letter from the city, informing the people in West Dallas that the city, around about 7 lines down, the city was not involved. It was letting the community know that the city wasn't involved with the RSR lead settlement that was between attorneys. That's by no way. It was between some attorneys and people in West Dallas. The city wasn't involved, and they didn't have nothing to do with the RSR settlement in West Dallas. After you read that, Judge Nichols, I want you to turn to the next page. When the city of Dallas wrote us this first letter, Judge Nichols, telling us that they weren't involved with the RSR lawsuit, the city didn't know that I had found the lawsuit. The top of the page on the second page, Judge Nichols, is the city of Dallas versus the RSR law, RSR. RSR. So I'm still on the second sheet. This is a court order, Judge Jenkins, where the city sued the RSR. The first sheet, they were telling us they weren't involved. Let the community know they weren't involved. The second sheet is where the city of Dallas sued the RSR lead claim. And the first, this is a court order, Judge Jenkins, since 1981. The first paragraph in the court order is the city had a public health program designed for individuals who live in the affected area. So, since 1981, the city has been telling the community on the first sheet, that they weren't involved with the RSR settlement. The second sheet is where a court order, where they sued. They was telling us they didn't have nothing to do with it, but they sued and got the money and got a health program. This is a court order. He was in West Dallas with the health the community service lady and Merle Rollins about the Obamacare. But what Merle Rollins didn't tell you, Judge Jenkins, that the city of Dallas has been having health insurance for the people in West Dallas since 1981. And the third sheet is where everybody signed off on it, Judge Jenkins. This wasn't no fake lawsuit. The last sheet, you get the whole lawsuit on the city, Judge Jenkins. The last sheet of what I give you is where everybody, the judges and everybody signed off, stating, where the city was going to do the health program and help the people in West Dallas. and the people of West Dallas, this is a court order. You can get the whole lawsuit from the city of Dallas and marijuana. So what I'm here trying to ask you to help and see if we've been going out to Parkland getting help, we've been paying for it, and the city of Dallas been having a health program for us since 1981. To see if you can help us with that. Is that my time?
Yes, that's your time. If you will leave your information with my office, we'll get back with you on this. This is not, it's in the public speaker's hand, it's your opportunity to talk to us. But we'll get a response back to you, all right?
We're going to take it.
Thank you. You can see Shay there in the office. She'll get you our contact info. Thank you. And this concludes our public speakers. We now go into closed session as authorized by Chapter Patrick of the government code. Any matter resulting in the need for a vote in the closed session to take place at a subsequent meeting, we'll begin that closed session momentarily.